All right, look, the UFC FBI is real. Dana White cheated off my paper in class, and they're stealing all of my matches, all right? Jokes aside, I wanted Josh Emmett to punch Lerone Murphy so hard the dreads and melanin melted into the canvas. That did not happen. We're going to go through the number one contender for each division, or the match for each division to make the number one contender next. Now, let me start by saying I left out the very obvious shit. Like, this is obviously wrong. Kai Kara France is up next. We can agree on that. After Kai Kara France, who wins this fight gets the shot after that. Because obviously Pantoja is still going to be walking around 125 strapped up. Pause, no Puff Diddy. Anyway, let's just get straight into it. 125 is one of the fights that I'm the least excited for because Manel Kape is a win merchant, bro. Anything from complaining about his gear to faking getting an eye poke to literally eye poking someone else. And he never gets a point taken away, bro. Ever. Never, ever, ever does Manel Kape get punished for anything he does in the fight. And it's just because he got rid of Muhammad Mokaev. So now everyone's like, we gotta reward this guy. But even before that, he was just doing fuck shit and getting away with it for no reason. Like you've got in here, two-time eye poke world champion. The precision on that eye jab he's got. Man, it's ridiculous. Also, we're going to pretend like we don't see that, right? The gyno, he looks like this. He looks like this. He looks like a Minecraft character whose body is slanted 15 degrees, okay? There's a giant fucking ramp on your chest, dog. Stop using needles. I'm not a Manel Kape fan. Which sucks, because the dude's super athletic. I think he's got good striking. He doesn't have a fight style I enjoy. He's not marketable at all. I've never met a Manel Kape fan. Ready for him to go, dude. I need Brandon Royval to win this fight. And I think Royval would win this fight because I totally had Tatsuro Taira in the last fight. And then just seeing the level of takedown defense that Royval has on top of what we already know, the phenomenal ground game if you do get him down, the elite hand speed that's probably the best in 125. The chin is there. Everything's there. This guy's not missing anything. You might be able to outpace him or do something one or two categories better, but it is really, really hard to just flat out beat this guy 10 out of 10 times. Did y'all see that little dot on there? Regardless, we're moving on to 135 with the man himself, Petr Yan. Okay? Petr Yan is a little bit more difficult to talk about here because we are stuck in the O'Malley Mistress chapter. Okay? Dana White and Sean O'Malley and Hunter Campbell, they're all going to go have some lubed up threesome in a McDonald's bathroom, and this is the end result of it. Merab versus O'Malley 2. Merab wins by decision again. Someone says it's a robbery, so they run back the trilogy. Sean loses again. He's 0-3. Well, now he says he broke his foot, so of course we're going to give him a fourth fight. I'm just kidding. I am afraid that this is just going to turn into the Sean O'Malley show, though. I love Sean, but there's no point in forcing somebody on you in the UFC. This isn't WWE. I get TKO owns everything, but you can't just shove them down our throats. And it makes sense to go Petr next. If you really do want to argue that Sean O'Malley is the best guy in the world right now, Petr Yan beat Sean O'Malley. I get it if you Google it where the L and the W are going to sit on that screen, but Petr Yan beat Sean O'Malley. The only thing, I think Sean O'Malley probably had the best singular strike in that fight. And I guess Petr might have been bleeding more, but bleeding doesn't necessarily equate damage. And Petr Yan won that fight. I believe he was the more effective striker. I believe he was the way better grappler. I don't think there was any grappling on Sean's end. Is my camera blurry right now, or am I just ugly as fuck? What's going on here? Woohoo! Anyway, no, I totally think that Petr Yan needs to be the next guy up. He beat Sean, and whenever he fought Merab, this was Merab's first fight as Merab Dvalishvili. The cardio being there, this takedown spam Jesus. He's literally the reincarnation of a double leg takedown in Greco-Roman times. The guy wasn't always like that. We've seen him choked out. We've seen him knocked out. Merab was not always that guy. it started in the Piotr Jan fight. So Piotr thought he was getting some freebie, bro. I can't even blame him. And on top of that, everyone else, the MMA math thing I'm talking about, MMA math might be bullshit and it doesn't equate to who's going to win the fight, but it does equate to who's going to get the fight. Piotr Jan's already beat Sean O'Malley, so you have to at least give him an opportunity at the man at some point. Merab Dvalishvili has already manhandled pretty much everyone else in the top 5. We've already proved that Chito Vera does not need to be in there with these guys, right? Correct. I think we can all agree on that one. And what other bantamweights are we really throwing up at that 135? We don't have a Cody Garbrandt. I really like Davison Figueiredo coming up to 135. I think him and Corey Sandhagen will be a good fight. I do have Corey winning. Umar and Corey are most like, well, that's assuming Corey beats Davison. If Davison beats Corey, just replace Corey with Dave right there. But most likely this is going to be Umar and Corey battling it out. And I only say that because Umar's guaranteed. Like, Corey and Davison might alternate for each other, but Umar is the only other guy they're going to try and throw in there with that Merab and Sean mix, just for the Nurmagomedov name value. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think the bantamweight division is just really stuck. Best case scenario for bantamweight division, either Piotr or Corey winds up with that belt. Swear, not Sean, because Sean is just going to have to rematch Merab, and it would have been a fluke victory, let's be honest. Merab's going to get the belt back, and we're going to be right back to square one. He's going to fight Umar again. Umar is going to lose. Umar is going to fight someone else and win, and then there's going to be a contenders match between, like, Piotr and Corey. It's just going to loop itself over and over and over, and there's no point in doing that to us. So, have this happen. Have this little Sean O'Malley-Merab trilogy happen that you're going to force on us, and then just go. Forget all about it. Next up, this is where I said the FBI's real. Forgive me, I didn't want to make a new program. I had Josh Emmett winning this fight, and then the fight happened. Don't get me wrong, Lerone Murphy is literally a jogging merchant. He just walks around the octagon. I would have done the same thing against Josh, let's be honest. He's not an overhand right spammer, but if he hits it one time, it is over, like factual statement. Everything he landed was on Lerone's guard. I'm not about to sit here and say, like, oh, Lerone Murphy's ass. He is probably the worst 16-0 UFC fighter I've ever seen, but he's not awful. He's just really boring, doesn't have a fan-friendly style, and Josh Emmett hit him with the most disgusting takedown in UFC history last night. I don't know if y'all saw that, but he just fucking picked him up and solar beamed his ass. I mean, it was fucking ridiculous. The reason that I didn't make a new graphic here because it doesn't change anything. You're going to feed him to Movsar Evloev, who is the most boring undefeated guy, but he's better than Lerone. He's going to get Lerone on the ground and it's wraps. We saw Lerone was able to get up against Josh Emmett every time, but it got harder every time. Like, Lerone looked like he was like, okay, I can get up. And he's just gassed, bro. Like, there was nothing special there. I think if you give him someone whose primary thing is wrestling, it's not even going to be close. Movsar is probably going to scrub Lerone on the mat to the point his skin comes off. Like, the dude's just a dominant top wrestler. Lerone's got a very boring style. Odds are he's going to get stuck under this guy for 15 to 25 minutes and get a unanimous decision. I've got a little bit of information through the grapevine here. It's that Charles Oliveira is going to win by first round knockout against Top Turo, okay? I know he changed his name, whatever the fuck. He's the legend now. No one gives a fuck, buddy. Shadow du Bronx by first round submission, okay? He's coming for you. We need to talk about the fact that, oh, well, Charles doesn't need another fight against Islam because he got submitted in the first. He went into the fight injured. The dude was supposed to have surgery. And they're like, oh, well, he pulled out of the second fight like a little bitch. He had a gash above his eyebrow bigger than most of y'all's cock and balls. Okay? Like, let's not pretend that Charles isn't still that fucking guy. The Arman Sarukian fight, personally, if I'm a judge, I'm giving it to Charles. 2 of the 3 rounds, Sarukian was dead in a choke. There's nothing he could have done. The bell just went off. He was saved. I can't really give a guy 2 out of the 3 rounds if he was saved 2 out of the 3 rounds. So I don't think he should have won that fight to start with. On top of that, Who the fuck else are we going to throw at this guy? We gave Charles the most athletic, pure fucking ball of MMA we've ever seen in Arman Tsarukyan. I mean, the dude's flexibility, athleticism, quickness, strength, it's all unmatched. And then you got to counter in the fact that, like, Ilya has not fought at 155 in years, and when he did, he was losing fights. People forget that. Ilya's not, like, lifelong undefeated. He's professionally undefeated. When he fought at 155 before, he got beat. Those weren't UFC-level guys. I get it probably might have been just that he was bigger and not as disciplined, but doesn't really change the end result that Charles is a true 155er. And I'm not saying that Ilya isn't. Just by his body composition, I do think he'll be fine at 155. But let's just be real. No one wants to see Ilya here. No one wants to see Ilya knock out Charles. No one wants to see Ilya knock out Dustin. No one wants to see Ilya knock out Gaethje. I haven't met an Ilya fan. Like, do they exist? I don't want them to exist. I don't want Ilya in my division. I say my division because lightweight is like... Lightweight does have the old man problem, though. Like, not old man, but prime problem. Charles, Dustin, Michael, Fiziev, Gaethje, even Holloway. Like, all the lightweights are getting up there in age a little bit. This weight class is going to fall off bad in the next 2-3 years. But we are still at the end of peak lightweight division history. So, like I said, I think the division's going to fall off. If Charles could get this win and Islam moves up because Belal loses, the lightweight division is going to get one more deep Charles Oliveira run, and then it'll probably just sink back into non-existence. That would be the best way to... Lightweight has been the best division for a little while now. So this would be the best way to end its supremacy, in my opinion, with Charles Oliveira going out on top. Moving forward, though, 155 to 170, New Mansa, Joaquin Buckley versus Ian the Future Machado Gary. Wasn't about to put Machado on there. I thought it was a nickname, like Little Muscles or something. No, it's just his last name, Machado Gary. I'm not typing all that shit out. I don't like you enough for that. You might train at Shoot the Box, but I don't have to like Gary. Gary is a shout out Manel Kopp. He's a win merchant, bro. He's just going to do the bare minimum of what he's supposed to do. So, like, against MVP, dude probably threw 3 strikes all fight. Just went straight grapple mode. Against Shavkat, refused to be offensive, and he had to do, which, I mean, he did fine at. He had to do counter. But the man had a torn MCL, and you still couldn't really outstrike him. Regardless, I don't think Ian Gary's bad. He's just a cuck. As long as there's a wood chair in the corner of the octagon, he'll be fine watching it. This fight would, all jokes aside, sell a bunch of tickets. I think it'd be really entertaining. I think Joaquin Buckley would probably get his ass kicked for about 14 minutes and then get off an insane spinning back fist or fucking looping an uppercut. Like, just some wild shit. And it would... Remember how Leon got his ass beat until the last 10 seconds, and then he did more damage in 10 seconds than Belal did the whole fight? I feel like that'd kind of be this, just smaller scale. I feel like Ian probably gets a minute to a minute and a half of just getting beat the fuck up. But I do think it'd be a really good fight, provided you're okay with grappling. If you don't want to watch grappling, don't even bother watching this fight, dude. I'm telling you, it's not going to be your thing. But these are two really high-level strikers with very opposing styles. Those clashes are normally pretty fire. The issue is when you get like a kickboxer and a kickboxer or a wrestler and a wrestler. But whatever you have, just a ball of fucking steel and muscles versus Irish rubber, whatever the fuck you want to call Ian Gary. Like, I feel like this is going to be really, really fun to watch. It's an elite matchup of athleticism versus talent. I want Joaquin to win this one. Honestly, I do think Ian would pull it out. I think he'd just sub him at some point. But I would want Joaquin to win this one. And I'd probably bet on Joaquin because I feel like he'd open as a big underdog. I don't know. These guys are ranked right beside each other in the rankings. So I really want to see this one. And moving forward, welterweight division, we don't know who we're going to be seeing up here. Belal and JDM are fighting now. We could be seeing Islam move up. We could be seeing some 185ers move down because 185 is fucking weird right now. I think this is definitely one of the safest bets. Like, this has to be the next fight. Unless you give Kamaru Usman, like, an opportunity at somebody. Just because he deserves it from being a dominant champion a few years ago. But, like, I think Kamaru should probably move up to middleweight and call it a day. Speaking of middleweight and call it a day, Caio Baralho, Nasruddin Imavov, easy matchup. No one else needs to be fighting for the contendership at this point. Nasruddin Imavov proved that he is an elite UFC fighter. Sorry, I got to burp. I was trying to hide it. Nasruddin Imavov proved he's elite not only through his insane power, which I didn't really think he had. I didn't think he had one-shot power like he showed us against Izzy. But he's already proven that he is a phenomenal all-around guy. Like, there's not a single asset of MMA, whether it be physical, his strength or his cardio, or skill-wise, his BJJ or striking accuracy. The guy has everything at a minimum. So you really do have to be a complete fighter, which Caio is. I think Caio is probably the most complete fighter, on top of being at the most complete gym in the UFC, on top of being in what is one of the weakest divisions in the UFC, setting him up for real potential here. I don't remember how old Caio is off the top of my head, but every fight I watch him in, I love. That Jared Cannonier fight, I was worried for the first round because I was like, oh shit, Jared landed. I actually just recorded a really shitty outro, so I'm going to pretend like this was the first try. Peace!